Today, we're talking about a massive shift happening in an industry that, let's be honest, most of us don't think about until we have to: hazardous waste. But a digital storm is brewing here, and trust me, it's changing absolutely everything.
So let's just start with a number: $70,000. What do you think that represents? It's not revenue, it's not a bonus, it's a penalty.
And get this, that's the potential fine for a single reporting error per violation per day. We're talking about the kind of number that can cripple a business, all because of a mistake. This isn't just about getting paperwork right anymore. The stakes are incredibly high. So what's going on here? Well, what we're seeing is a perfect storm. It really is the end of an era. The end of the paper era for hazardous waste compliance.
For decades, this industry ran on clipboards, carbon copy forms, and huge filing cabinets. You know the drill. Well, that world is officially over. It's been completely replaced by a combination of new digital rules, huge new risks, and powerful new technologies. Sticking to the old way of doing things isn't just inefficient anymore, it's genuinely dangerous for your company's bottom line.
To really understand this storm, you have to see it as a kind of regulatory gauntlet. It's not just one thing. It's three massive waves of change that are all converging on businesses at the exact same time.
And here are the three waves. First, you've got the digital mandate, called e-manifest. Then there's the expansion of corporate responsibility, known as EPR. And finally, you have the big ESG push, driven by new global standards like CSRD. Each one of these builds on the last, creating this perfect storm of data headaches for companies.
So let's break down that first wave, e-manifest. This is the big one. It's a mandatory federal system here in the US that is forcing the entire industry to go from paper to pixels. It creates a permanent, real-time digital trail for all hazardous waste, from the moment it's created, the cradle, all the way to its final disposal, the grave. And this isn't some abstract thing happening in the distant future. The deadlines are right now. By early 2025, companies have to be registered. And by the end of that year, those old 5-copy paper forms, they're officially history. The EPA won't even accept them. The clock is absolutely ticking. The stakes here are they're unbelievably high. Federal penalties for knowingly breaking these rules go way beyond fines. We're talking about potential prison time. That's a huge signal that regulators are not messing around with digital compliance. Now, this slide is where you can really see the compounding effect. Look at how these stack up. E-manifest forces you to have a real-time digital system. Then new EPR laws pop up and demand that you collect super detailed data on all your packaging. Then, layered on top of all that, you've got global rules like CSRD that require you to report on your entire value chain's environmental impact. You see, the data for one regulation feeds the next. A system that's only built for one of these is pretty much guaranteed to fail. Okay, so you're facing this gauntlet. How on earth do you navigate this storm? The answer, really the only answer, is through smart technology. This brings businesses to a major fork in the road. Do you buy an off-the-shelf software package, or do you build a custom solution? Now, off-the-shelf can be fast for sure, but it often can't handle the crazy quilt of different state-by-state rules, and it might not talk to your other existing systems. A custom solution, on the other hand, yeah, it's an investment upfront, but it's tailored to exactly how you work, which can make it a much smarter asset in the long run. You know, the strength of your entire digital system depends on the quality of the data going in, and that starts on the front lines, on the factory floor, at the job site. That's where mobile tech becomes a total game changer. You give your team simple apps, and suddenly you're capturing accurate data in real time right at the source. No more trying to read messy handwriting, no more lost paperwork. Just clean, verifiable data from the very start. And this has a fascinating effects on the jobs themselves. The role is fundamentally changing. An employee who once just moved a drum from point A to point B is now a crucial part of the data chain. They're using a device to scan, to verify, to certify information. In reality, they're becoming data technicians. But even with the best tech, there's always the human element, right? People can still make mistakes. So how do you train for this new digital reality? Well, one of the most innovative solutions is gamification. You basically turn what's usually pretty dry compliance training into something that's actually engaging, interactive, maybe even fun. And it's not just a gimmick. The results are pretty stunning. Studies show that well-designed gamified training can lead to a 30% reduction in safety violations. It just makes the information stick and turns compliance from a chore into a challenge people actually want to take on. So let's zoom out and look at the big picture. This investment in tech and training, it's not just about avoiding those scary fines. It's about transforming what's always been a cost center into a real source of competitive advantage. I mean, the financial argument here is just crystal clear. Research shows that on average, the cost of not being compliant is nearly 3 times higher than the cost of actually doing it right. Think about that. One big incident could easily cost more than the entire technology investment. Proactive compliance is really the only smart financial move. And the savings just keep coming. These automated digital systems can cut your overall operational costs by up to 30%. They can slash the specific costs tied to all that reporting and paperwork by as much as 40%. And this is a huge one for productivity. They can cut the time your employees spend on manual compliance tasks by 50 to 70%. Think of what else they could be doing with all that time. And this all leads to the most important transformation. The very same data that regulators are forcing you to collect, the data that used to be such a burden, it stops being a burden. It becomes a goldmine of business intelligence. It gives you incredible insights into your own operations, your supply chain, and even new business opportunities. Which leaves us with a final, really interesting question to think about. In an economy where transparency and sustainability are becoming everything, companies are being forced to collect all this data just to stay out of trouble. But what if that data is actually the key to unlocking their future success? You have to wonder, is compliance data the new corporate gold?